G'day guys, just going to have a run through this work in progress beta Okeechobee National. I haven't played this, haven't actually played any of the courses from this designer. There's a lot of courses. Pin 4 and the back tees, check it out. See if I can help with any sort of little things I can sort of see.
Hello, you. My name is John McCarthy, and I'm here to welcome you
Let's have a look.
to PGA Tour 2K23.
I know it's like a low-lying,
You're ready for some
swampy
fantastic
sort
golf.
of
Nice par 4 in
course.
front of us as we kick things off.
but that's
Let's
pretty
get
much
to
all I know about it. Yeah, this looks nice. You can see what's going on. The fairway, the bunkers, they're sort of nicely nested on top of each other, and the pin in behind. You've got the water in the front. Yep. I mean, that bunker's a little hard to see. Maybe if you took that one on the right there, if you took a tree out and let a bit of light shine on that sand, maybe you could see it a bit better, and it might look a little better from this perspective. But yeah, minor things. What have we got? Planting in the water. That's pretty good. It's good. Definitely that sort of swampy look, and you've mixed a couple different plants in there. Yeah, that goes well. There's no way for the golfer to get across, so I imagine you're probably going to want to put in some sort of bridge or pathway to get across. Got a little bit of room here. Quite a narrow fairway, but that's okay. There's a bit of room. It narrows up by that bunker, but that's fine. The sort of spline points along that left side of that fairway are, not sure why it sort of zigzags like that. There's no sort of reason from a sort of land movement point of view for the fairway to be cut like that. So either maybe straighten up those splines or sculpt that land so that there's some sort of interest and reason to shape the fairway in that manner. Got a nice wind behind, so I'm just going to try to whack it up through that gap. I'm going to need a pretty solid shot to get through there. Let's see if I can pull it off.
Great swing.
Maybe. Nah. Okay. Into that well-placed trap. How are the bunkers looking? Sort of flattish.
Right, let's leave the
flattish
sand
bottom
behind
bunkers.
us. What do you say?
Looks alright. This one's... yeah. Not bad. One thing maybe that stands out to me is, see how you got heavy rough, light rough, fairway, fringe. You got a lot of different surfaces on this very steep sort of face. The face is fine, but like surely all this would be heavy rough. Who's going to be mowing fairway length there? Light rough length there. I think that face would be heavy rough up to sort of maybe here. Yeah. The green is pretty narrow. Okay, so you got like the sort of runoffs down here. It's a very narrow green. You've got these runoffs down here, and they just sort of run into the rough. Which doesn't actually leave a, if you miss it, run down here, and you sort of, you might stay on the fringe, or you might just sort of run down into the light rough. It's not a particularly interesting shot back. It's not that fun. I don't think you need a runoff on this side, especially with such a narrow green. I think it should be more flat, and then maybe with the fringe, maybe with a bit of fairway, and then the drop off down into that bunker. That's just a little thing. Again, on here you've got the sort of wavy green shape for no real reason. Maybe if you sort of sculpt the land, sort of a lump in here where this is sort of green, and then a lump there, or even sort of the opposite, like an indentation where these things are, to sort of just make the shape of the green reflect the movement of the land a little bit better. But that's alright. You got the nice diagonal shape, a bit more room up here. Just maybe feels a little bit narrow, and if you do some sort of sculpting, you can get maybe a slope coming off a hump here that you could maybe sort of use to kick around. But then if you miss that, then there's a little runoff down into the fairway. Might just provide a little bit more sort of interest there. What's going to happen here? In the bunker.
Well, you're getting some practice in for bunker shots today. Positive stuff.
That's pretty handy.
Oh, yes. Starting the day at even par here. Good to see.
That's a
Wind
good
is
little first
blowing
hole.
on the tee here.
Yeah. All right. I quite like a lot about this fairway shape, but because it's a short hole, right? And you're challenging this driver. It's pretty tough drive, but I think it's too narrow down here. I think on most normal sort of courses, there's going to be more width for the shorter hitters, and it just, like, you've got a tough drive, but then you've got a tough layup too. I just think I open it up out here quite a bit more, would make it a more interesting and more natural looking hole. This bunker's nicely sort of sculpted through here, definitely. This bunker at the back there, I'm not quite sold on that shape. It's sticking out away from everything. I'll have a look when I get up there a bit closer, but and look, I like this sort of clump of trees here that are sort of blocking out the direct view. I think that works quite well. I'm going to try to bend it around with this wind behind. Let's see if I can go.
Just a pure swing.
Yeah, so that back bunker, I think I should be in the
Second
bunker
shot
now.
here on hole number 2.
But because of the shape and the way that it goes out away from the fairway and away from everything back up to here, with this huge sort of heavy rough patch, I don't think that bunker shape makes sense. Um, I think you should move this tree. Maybe put it over here, or get rid of it, or something, because it's just casting a shadow on that green, and shadows across the pins on greens, try to avoid them. Or it also makes all that water and that planting quite invisible. If you, maybe cast the shadow here on this fairway. And on this rough, but put all this planting in the sun, and put the green in the sun. That's what I would do for sure. But look, oh, good shot.
Oh, nice little chip there.
But that's pretty good. It's a good
birdie.
shaped hole. All of this, I think I mentioned before, all of these sort of runoffs into the rough aren't great. And this one here, like, this is a lot of runoff. If you're here, halfway up the green, you're just here in this rough. And you got an uninspiring chip back. You don't need that to run off there. It doesn't really add anything to the hole. It makes the hole less fun to play. A little sort of chip from the light rough here it's not a fun shot.
Okay, let's see what the next hole has for us. And we're teeing
Par
up
3.
now
Let's have a look.
on the third.
Yeah, this looks nice. I wonder if you're going to put something else in sort of this area here. It's a big unused sort of open area. Probably need something in there. But the hole itself goes pretty well. I wonder if this bunker could be a little bit sort of further cut in there. I don't know. But yeah, it's nice. It's like a pretty interesting sort of almost L green shape and water on this side. Yeah, nothing wrong with this hole at all. Tough pin location. The green itself's quite flat for a reasonably short hole. I don't know, maybe it would be well served with some internal contouring. Wow, that was a terrible shot.
Through the branches. And here's your second shot on the third. And about 14 feet to go. I could have used a little bit more power, I think. Nice stroke. We're in there with a bogey.
Yeah, solid first par 3.
I'll bring you up to even par after that one.
And now par 5.
Wind is blowing left to right on this one.
Again, I just think it's too tight back here. I don't think many people are going to go back here, right? Not many people in this game are going to lay up, but what's wrong with opening this fairway right up here? That's more how a golf course would be set up in real life, and I think that helps to make it look and feel more realistic. golf courses tend to give a bit more room for the shorter hitters, tighten things up for the longer hitters. I think it makes a difference. And I've gone in the water.
Whoops, there goes the... Yeah, that's the water.
I'm going to try that shot again.
And this is your third shot. Nice swing. Sounded
That's
great.
a bit better, but I didn't even aim at it. It's cool. We'll see what the bunker looks like. Yeah, you can probably tighten up the sculpting around the edge of the bunker on that
Right,
sort of left
setting
side
up
a
in
little
the
bit.
fairway
But
sand.
it's not too bad. What do we got? Alright, so you got the angled green coming in here. So the best angle to approach a green is from out here, which is sort of rough again. It's pretty narrow. So what you're saying on this hole is hit one narrow target and then hit another narrow target, and then put it on the green. It doesn't provide too many options. So I suppose one of the issues with this hole is, okay, this is the trouble. This is where you're dead. And it's also the worst angle into the green. The best angle in is from this side, which is, but you don't really have a choice of angles because of how narrow it is. But if you could give options out here and make this and put some trouble out here to sort of disincentivize coming out here, or challenge coming out here. But if you take on the challenge, then you've got that shot into the green. That might be a better sort of strategy on this hole. But yeah, I just think this is a bit too...
And unfortunately might be in the rough.
Hit a narrow target, hit another narrow target, which isn't particularly inspiring golf.
Fifth stroke here. And we are back in the fairway.
Yeah, look, the surfacing's better here. It's sort of heavy rough where it should be. That light rough just sort of ends a bit abruptly there. I reckon the light rough should probably just sort of end here. Maybe you can sort of even get that a bit steeper. I don't know. Feels a bit weird that it gets so narrow here of this fairway. Maybe a little bit more room, not that far, but a little bit more room to breathe out here.
Good job with that chip shot. And right now you're just 2 strokes above par.
All right, let's see.
The wind's a
what we
little
got
blustery,
next.
blowing
Top 5.
right to left on this one.
Another nice shot. Like your sight lines are solid. All right, I can see what's going on. I can see. I'd imagine I'm probably going to want to draw between these traps here. I'm going to make the same comment again. Bit more room out here. I think just open these up a bit. You don't need to make fairway's a bit narrow.
You managed to get a good swing on that.
It's a bit narrow everywhere. It's no problem being narrow where you're challenging the player.
And this is looking to be about 155 yards out.
What do you got? Yeah, this slope here, and the surfacing's well done. Again, a bit of sort of shadows. Maybe if you move that tree across a bit, and you could even get those shadows to sort of frame the putting surface a little bit better. I think shadows are pretty important. I think they make a big difference aesthetically. But yeah, that's a good shot in. I don't know if I'm gonna have enough club here, but we'll maybe.
I'm okay with that. All right, let's get a birdie and get out of here. What do you say?
Yeah, the green sculpting's pretty good. We've got the two-tiered sort of thing. Yeah, all good.
Going towards that hole.
Oh no, that was my fault. I don't
Just a
I
little
don't
too
think
much
that
pace on that one. I think I'll let your putting do the talking here from way out.
I mean, look, that's what's, what would be called a legal pin. So it wouldn't be sort of pulled up in any sort of rangering process, but it might be just for a playability reason. It might be a little bit close to this drop off.
Here we go for the bogey. And the putt drops. Currently 3 over par for the day. Might need a bit more club. We got a headwind on this hole.
What do we got? Drivable. I mean, the first thing I see is this bunker is very big compared to the rest of the bunkers on the course so far. That they don't all have to be the same size, but this one's quite big. And it's also it just looks like a rectangle. And I think the sculpting could be improved a bit here. It's a bit flat. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this bunker and sort of the sculpting at this end. I don't know why this one, the fairway is this shape. Again, it doesn't make sense compared to the lay of the ground. Sorry, one sec. My daughter Evelyn has just woken up, and hang on one sec. What's up? I'll give me 30 seconds. I will be back. Alright, sorry about that. Yeah, all good. Yeah, that bunker, not a fan of. The hole itself is alright. You got, it's drivable. You got some trouble on both sides. I like this tree. The dead tree look, and what's going on with these? Like, they're pretty cool. That all sort of works. So this hole's okay. It's all sort of the same width all the way along, but that's okay because it's a very short hole. Um, it's not super tight. I think that works pretty well. Green looks like it's sculpted pretty well. A little bit of sort of a little bit of fairway off the back there, which is good. Yeah. Yeah, sort this bunker out, and it's gonna be a nice little hole. Don't think I've got enough, but oh, I'm gonna be in the water, aren't I?
Oh
There you
no.
go.
Water.
I'll try that again.
And this is our third shot.
I don't have enough club, but I'm just going to see how I go. That's right. That's a good
Setting up for your fourth stroke here.
good sort of approach down to the green. Yeah, I like it. I like the sort of the bridgey sort of stuff
Lining
in the
up for the
background.
13-foot putt.
That does look nice.
And for the double. Looking good. Nice putt. And you're currently sitting at 5
yeah.
over.
So look, this whole
And the
sort of
seventh hole
bridge
is upon us.
stuff, that's really good. It's well in keeping with the style of course. You probably need something similar to that on that first hole where you had to swim across the swamp. But that goes well. Looks nice. I wonder if you know what I'm going to say here. Yeah, it's just narrow all the way, all the way. Get it out here. Again, you can keep this bit narrow, that's fine. But open it up down here. Sometimes you can make these sort of, when you've got a fairway that bends around a corner, I'd be looking to sort of fade that around depending on the wind, try to get there in that corner. Sometimes having, it raised up on this side a bit more, so you can actually use the slopes to help you around the corner. Some people think, oh, well, why would I make the hole easier? It's supposed to be a challenge, right? But what it actually does is it makes the hole
this
more
is
fun
out of
to
the
play.
second cut here.
So sometimes you can think about that. Green shape is good. Again, shadows through the pin, which you don't need to, it doesn't need to have no shadows on it. I don't know, there's a lot of planting
A
on this
little wayward
course,
on
and
the
there's a lot of
approach, that's
trees.
all right though.
So you can't keep it off everything, but see, when the wind's blowing and you got these
Here's a
all these
9-foot
shadows
putt.
across here, it just makes it a pain to read your putts. And
Oh, it's getting there. And in the hole. And sitting at 5 over par for the day.
all right,
And you're teeing up on a par 5 here.
this bunker's a bit different than all the rest on the course. But they don't all have to be the same. It just stands out a bit to me that it's so different. Your sculpting down here is pretty good. I probably don't need to say again. It's this is I think again a bit more room there. I imagine that'll probably be a sort of common theme across all of the holes. It's a bit tight.
Good shot.
Everywhere.
Second shot here on hole number 8.
Yeah, so again, these bunkers are very different to anything that we've seen before. Little pots, I don't know if they're quite in keeping with the course, and they just sort of stand out as a bit plonked down there. In terms of the sculpting, I think with little pop bunkers like this, you can get a bit of a fringe of rough and drop them down a bit more and make them a bit more dramatic. These just look like little pancakes plonked, and then just lowered down a bit. So I think you should, if you want to make little pop bunkers, play a course called Frag Hole Rock, which is a fantastic course. It's really different to this. It's a links course, and it's got lots of pop bunkers that are much deeper and more dramatic. If you're going to go with sort of little pots like this, you definitely don't want bunkers that deep or that the same. But just in terms of how they're sculpted and how they're surfaced, it's really, I think it would actually, you should have a look at those, because they're wonderful. It's a wonderful course, and they're really well made. So yeah, if you want to go with pots, have a think about how they're made on that course, and you can maybe get some ideas from there.
Well, you're doing all right this hole on the green, under regulation. That's good work. This putt is for eagle.
Yeah, it's alright. The green sculpting goes alright. It's the green shape is, I don't know, it's a little bit funny on sort of in this corner. Not too bad, but it's just, yeah, maybe the shape's not quite right. I wonder what'll happen with this putt. Oh man, that's a really bad putt. Wow.
All right, don't let it get you down. We'll get back on the green and be on our way. This putt is about 11 feet. This one's on a good line. No, that was tough. It's a little bit too hard on that one. Oh, that was almost
my goodness.
in. 4 feet to the cup. Okay, good job on this one. Okay, 7 over par after that one.
Another par 3.
And as you tee off, we've got a par 3.
Yep. I think you can improve the sculpting here, but I mean the bunkers, it works. Yeah, that one's alright. The green shape goes pretty well. What's this? Is that like, no, it's a tee box. Yeah, so I mean, this whole sort of side, it's pretty sort of bare bones. I wonder if you're going to put, stuff in there, but you sort of fill that in with something, and it'll just sort of frame that. You can frame this hole a bit better. But look, it's like I said, I don't know what how much you've got left to put in, or what you're planning there. I like this slope down here. That goes well. I don't like this slope here. This is too much, too big. So because I'm sure you've got a pin up here, right? Which would be a pretty tough pin position. But if you're going for it right, if your ball just sort of ends up here, you're fine, and you've got a nice, pretty straightforward putt. But if your ball ends up here, well, actually it ends up here. So you're just, a couple of feet, and it makes all that difference. I think that's too much. Let's see if I can use this slope somehow.
Come on, ball, kick right.
Giving it a bit much, but I think it will come down off that slope. Yeah, a bit too much there.
Ah, that didn't hit the mark, did it? And here's our second shot on the 9th. Well, that's a nice chip. Well done. Okay, and this one to save the hole. And you're currently
Greens are
7
pretty
over.
fast at 175. That's pretty quick. I didn't actually notice that
We got a
before.
left to right cross breeze on this hole.
Do you need them that high? Yeah, this is a good shape here. Yeah, okay. That sort of sculpting around that next bunker can be improved. It's not too bad. It's in behind that sort of mounding. Maybe it can be fixed up a little bit.
Yeah, we'll have that.
Yep,
And this is
right.
around the 245-yard mark.
5. Yeah, you're going to need some sort of bridges across there. That's another swim for the golfer. So yeah, think about that. So like these sort of runoffs here that go into fairway, I think that's much better than the ones on previous holes that go into rough. Again, the green's a little flat for a fairly approachable par 5 with a fairly generous green. You know, you've got a bit of trouble off the greens, but maybe a bit of interest on the green internal contours. I think you can improve the surfacing through here. It seems to get pretty tight with the green right here. Bit of shadows. Maybe you can frame the green a bit better with the shadows. But yeah, nothing wrong with the hole really. I'm just gonna probably only get through to hole
third shot.
12, I think. 2 more after this. Sort of hard to make a video of all 18 holes.
And here's what you're dealing with for a birdie.
Because I like to have a look.
It could be a good one.
A little bit of detail.
Oh,
yeah,
that'll do. In there for the bird.
Take a bit of time. Let's go through to hole 12.
Sitting right at 6 over at the moment.
What do we got?
And teeing off now on a long par 4.
Yep. Looks good. The water and stuff in the front. You know, one thing that you can do is a sort of minor thing is just get some sort of obvious sort of walking. You know, you don't need to put cart paths or anything like that in, but just you know, the golfer's going to walk around this way, I suppose. You can sort of let us see that. At the moment it's just sort of heavy rough mounding. I like those little details. Again, it's sort of narrow all the way up. So it's a bit sort of targety again.
I think this one will land in the fairway. Okay, this one's about 135 to the pin.
Yeah, I like that that bridge in behind. It you can see right down it. It looks good. Should it be fairway around sort of around the side here? You'd probably have some fairway around the side on this, especially if you're expecting the golfers to walk around with their trolleys down to sort of this bridge. You'd probably give them something that's not heavy rough to walk through. But yeah, quite like this hole.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. We'll get on the green maybe on the next shot. Wouldn't that be nice to save par on this one?
Yeah, I think you should turn these greens down. The speed's quite high.
Ooh, just
175. It's
missed.
very high actually.
All right, give this a tap. Okay,
If you
that's
turn it
7 over
down,
for the day.
you can get some more sort of interesting slopes on the green.
Teeing it up now on the 12th.
Yeah, like I said, some sort of internal contouring. Part 3. This looks alright. So this tee box here, I like that it's here, and I like that it's can be a little bit of a feature. I think tee boxes are sometimes neglected on courses, but they're a pretty integral part of the course. And when you've got one that's going to be in a fairly sort of dramatic spot, you know, you can tidy it up. It's a bit like a lump here, and it doesn't look like a sort of a well-worn path for golfers to sort of walk up here, park their carts, and sort of go about their business. It's yeah. So this tee box is pretty front and center, right? It's right there. So yeah, you can make that look really good, and it just helps flesh out this as a real golf course a bit more. But the whole looks alright. Sculpting's not bad. Good. Yeah. Nice little par 3. It's amazing how like a final polish on like, you know, spend a bit of time to
Well,
sort of polish up the
unfortunately,
holes,
that's a
and how
missed
much it
green.
sort of improves the look in it. And you know, when you finish up sort of planting and blocking out sort of areas sort of behind the holes,
And to save par.
these things come together quite nicely with you if you take a bit of time and a bit
That's
of care.
good so far.
I think this course can
Nice little stroke in
can
there,
go well.
in there for par.
Bit of work, bit of polish, and maybe a few things, especially with some of those tight
And you're currently
fairways.
sitting at 7 over.
That's what I
Got a nice
what I think.
tailwind on this hole. See what
Everyone's
you can do with
got
that.
different opinions, but I'm just sharing mine. So yeah, I got to hit the road now. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing how you get on with this going forward. See ya.